X of S, saka Y sub S, yan. So those are already your transfer functions. Okay? So, but the main objective of this is to plot the poles and zeros of the equation in the S-plane. No? Ang sabi natin, ang S-plane that is composed of um, delta, positive, negative, J omega, di ba? That is the S-plane. Okay, so later papakita ko kung ano yung S-plane na yan. And then compute for the system gain. So meron din pala siyang gain using the transfer function. Okay? So transfer function is defined as the ratio of the Laplace transform of the output to the input. Okay? Then ang condition natin dito is all initial conditions are 0. Okay? So when you are taking the transfer function of a system, whether it is mechanical or electrical system, okay, you set your initial conditions to 0, meaning they are at rest. No? They are at rest. Now, the transfer function is defined as G sub S, that is equal to C sub S, that is the output of the system, over R sub S, which is the input. Okay? Now, R sub S is otherwise known as your characteristic equation. Okay? Characteristic equation ang denominator. Ayan. Okay, so if you have your equation, yung Laplace natin, so lahat ng mga nasa denominator na yan should be equated to 0. And you can determine the roots. Diba? Ganyan ang ginagawa natin. So, yung mga roots sa denominator, that is known as poles. No? Ang tawag dyan ay poles. So, next slide. Ayan. Okay? So, lahat ng R sub S, lahat ng roots ng R sub S, ang tawag nila dyan ay poles. Okay, P-O-L-E-S, poles. Okay, bakit poles? Kasi when you try to substitute the roots, no, from the denominator, it will give you infinite. Yung C sub S naman, yung mga roots sa C sub S, ang tawag nila dyan ay zeros. Kasi when you try to substitute the roots dun sa equation using the roots ng numerator, it will give you a 0. Kaya 0 ang tawag nila doon. Okay? So, G sub S, that is a transfer function, is equal to K, G sub S over R sub S. Yung K natin, that is known as the gain. Tapos, that is divided by, or that is equal to B sub O over R A sub O. Now, B sub O, that is the coefficient of the highest exponent ng numerator, and A sub O, that is the highest exponent ng denominator, or yung coefficient ng highest exponent ng denominator. Okay? Now, if your 0 is less than the pole, then the number of 0 at infinity is pole minus z, or pole minus 0. And if your 0 is greater than the pole, the number of pole at infinity is z minus t. Okay, so if they are equal, then the number of poles and zeros are equal at infinity. So take note, number ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, no? Hindi yung value, yung number. Okay? Kung ilang poles yon, kung ilang zeros. Okay. So as an example, no? Immediate example natin, so para malaman natin yung poles and zeros. Okay? So itong example number, yung last example natin. So ito muna. Okay. So, share ko lang yung stop sharing ko. Okay. So, this one, no? Yan. Okay. So, this one is your okay. So, ito yung Laplace natin. Ang sabi, di ba? This one is actually our transfer function, no? So, dito, ito, poles. Dito poles, ito 0. So, ilang poles ito? So, tatlo, no? Tatlo yung roots eh. Tapos, wala kang zeros. Wala kang roots sa zero. Okay? So, mas mataas yung number of poles kaysa yung zeros. Yan. Okay? So, balik tayo sa sharing. Ayan. Okay? Okay, so the properties of transfer functions, okay, number one, transfer function is valid only for linear time invariant system. No? So those system that does not vary with time. Okay? Then all conditions are zero, no? While obtaining the transfer function. So kailangan at rest. Transfer function does not depend on the input of the system. Okay? So parang sinabi mo na it doesn't matter whatever the input kasi input is variable, no? Pwedeng halimbawa 10 volts lang, 10 newtons lang, or pwedeng 10 e raised to e sub t, o pwedeng gano'n. So that is variable, no? So hindi siya nagdedepende sa input. Now, transfer function does not reveal any idea about the physical nature of the system. So, hindi natin alam kung siya ba ay mechanical, siya ba ay electrical, okay? It's just an equation. No? And transfer function cannot be defined for nonlinear systems. Procedure, write the differential equation. Number two, convert the differential equation into Laplace, assuming all conditions are zero. Then take the ratio, output over the input, pero that is already in Laplace. And the ratio of the system is known as your transfer function. Okay, now before we proceed, no? Okay, so ilagay ko na dito. So, sulat ko na lang yung example number 11. Okay, so example number 11. So, we have plot the pole zeros, determining the system gain, and find the value of the function if, number one, if s is equal to 1, no? Yan. So, letter A, that is f of s, so 20. Okay, so you have 5s squared. Okay, and letter B, dito na lang. Okay, so stop share ko muna to. Ayan, so before we go to example number 11, so di-discuss ko lang yung G sub S. Okay? So, sabi natin kanina, G sub S, okay? G sub S, that is equal to C sub S over R sub S. That is the transfer function. Now, R sub S, that is the characteristic equation. Okay? So, yung C sub S natin, for example, that is composed of B sub O, let's say S raised to N, okay, plus B sub 1, S raised to N minus 1, plus B sub 2, S raised to N minus 2, okay, etc. plus, ayan, all over, so you have, you have A sub O, okay, S raised to N, plus A sub 1, S raised to N minus 1, plus A sub 2, S, S, okay, N minus 2, plus, etc. So, lalabas natin yung B sub O over A sub O, no? Because that is the gain. Ang sabi natin, ang gain, that is the coefficient of the highest exponent of S. So, ang may iwan dito, that is S sub N, no? Plus B sub 1 over B sub O. Yan. So, S N minus 1 plus B sub 2 over B sub O. That is S N minus 2 plus etc. No? Okay. So, all over, so you have S raised to N plus you have A sub 1 over A sub O. Okay. S N minus 1 plus A sub 2 all over A sub O. You have S N minus 2 plus etc. No? So, ito, B sub O over K sub O, that is K. That is B sub O over A sub O. Okay? And you try to determine the roots. No? So, lahat ng roots na makikita mo dito, makukuha mo dito sa numerator, that is zero roots. Tapos dito naman, that is whole roots. No? Okay. Now, yung x-plane na binabanggit ko kanina, so this one is the plane. No? Ayan. So, di ba ang sabi natin is yung complex frequency that is equal to delta, positive, negative, j omega. Okay? So, ito yung positive j omega natin. Ito yung negative j omega. So, you have positive delta and negative delta. Okay? So, for example, if your S, no? If your S is purely real, so that let's say 4, no? Ayan. So, ang plot ng S nandito. Okay? So, if your S is purely imaginary, let's say negative J4, so nandito yung negative J4 mo. So, you have negative J4, then you have 4. Okay? So, if your S is a conjugate, so let's say 4 plus J4, and you have 4 minus J4, no? So, nandito. Ayan. Okay? Ayan. So, we have 4 plus J4. Kasi nandito yung positive 4, no? Ng J4. And yung negative 4 nandito, so you have 4 minus J4. Okay? Now, yung S na yan, no? These are the roots of your Laplace transform. Okay? So, kung 0 yan, so if your S is classified as 0, no? Lalagyan mo lang ng bilog na ganyan. Okay? Kapag pole naman, lalagyan mo lang ng X. Okay? So, let's try, no? So, tingnan natin ito. Okay, so 20s plus 40 over 5s squared. Okay, so plus 40s plus 75. So you have 20 s plus 40 all over 5. You have s squared, s squared plus 8s plus 15. Okay, and that is equal to 4 s plus 40 all over. So take the root of this. That is s plus 3, s plus 5. So s plus 3, you have s plus 5. Okay? So therefore, ang zero natin ay negative 40. Ang pole natin ay negative 3 at negative 5. Ang gain natin ay 4. Okay? So, plot natin. Ayan. So, yung 0 muna. No? So this one is delta, this one is positive j omega. Okay, ganyan. Okay, so yung pole that is negative 40. So nandito. No? Ay, yung 0 pala, that is negative 40. So halimbawa, ito yung negative 40. Okay, o, bibilugan mo lang yan. Yan. Tapos ito yung negative 3. Ito yung negative 5. Halimbawa, lalagyan mo lang ng x. Okay, ganyan lang. Na-plot mo na. Okay? Okay, letter B. So you have 2s over s cubed minus 2s squared plus 16s minus 48. Okay? So paano natin hahanapin itong root na to? No? Paano kaya? Synthetic? Magsi-synthetic division tayo. Okay? So 1, negative 3, 16, negative 48. Diba? Ganyan ang synthetic. Ito yung s cubed, s squared, s, tapos s raised to 0. Okay? Ayan. Ayan, no? So, pag nag-try tayo ng number, you start with 1. Okay? So, you start with 1. So, let's say 1, lapis na lang kasi mag-erase tayo. So, 1. 1 times 1, 1. Negative 3 plus 1, negative 2. Negative 2 times 1, so you have negative 2. Okay? So, you have 14. 14 times 1, so you have 14. So, hindi nag-0 ito. Ibig sabihin, hindi 1 ang root. Hindi nag-0 eh. Okay? Burahin natin to, no? Burahin natin. Okay? So, pwedeng pagkatapos ng 1, you have negative 1, tapos 2. So, humanap kayo ng no? Humanap kayo ng number na po pwede nating ilagay dito na kung saan this one will become 0. Okay? So, let's say 3. Ayan, 3. No? 1. Okay? 1 times 3, 3, 0. Okay? 1 times 3, 3, tapos 0. 0 times 3, 0. Bring down 60. 16 times 3, 48. Check kung tama. Okay? 16 times 3. Times, tama. 48. So, 0. So, ibig sabihin, ang isang root natin ay 3. So, isang root ay s equal to 3. Okay? Ayan. Okay, next. Ito ay s cubed, s squared, s raised to 0. So, pagdating dito, bawas na yung exponent. So, ito ay magiging s squared. Ito ay s raised to 0. Okay, so parang lumalabas, ganito yan. S squared plus 16. Okay, ano ang root nito? So, ang root niyan ay
S plus 4.
f plus imaginary. Diba? Imaginary root yan. Kasi is equal to 0 eh. Okay, so s squared is equal to negative 16. Okay? So therefore, that is s is positive negative j4. So therefore, ang root niyan ay s minus j4 at saka s plus
S plus 14.
j4. Diba? Okay? So substitute mo doon sa So f of s. F of s equal to 2 s plus 1 half. Diba? Nilabas ko na yung 2 eh. Nilabas ko yung 2, so kailangan mag-divide ako ng 2. So s plus 1 half.
Yes, sir. Tama, sir.
Divided by s minus 3, s minus j4, and s plus j4. Ayan. Diba? Ayan. Okay? ito na yung pinaka-equation mo. Pareho lang to, no? Pareho lang. Kaya lang, ito, makikita mo kaagad yung roots. Okay, so ang z natin, ang zero natin ay negative 1/2. Kasi pag ito sinubstitute ko dito, magsi-zero ito. Kaya tinawag na zero. Okay, so yung pole naman natin ay positive 3, J4, and negative J4. Pag sinubstitute mo to, mag-i-infinite yan. Tapos, ang gain natin ay 2. Okay? So, pag ipa-plot natin yan, dito na lang, no? Taas ko na lang. So, plot natin, ayan. Plot, so positive delta, J omega. Okay? So, negative 1/2, sabi natin nandito, no? Wala nang, hindi na tayo mag-scale kasi paano kung 1,000 yan, di mag-scale sa baba. Okay? So, this one is 0. So, bilog yan. Okay? Next, ang pole natin ay 3. So, halimbawa, nandito yung 3. Bilagyan mo ng x natin pole. Okay? So, J4 at saka negative J4. Halimbawa, nandito yon, no? Halimbawa, nandyan, J4 and you have negative J4. Bilagyan mo lang ganito. Okay? So, yan yung plot natin. Okay? Yan. Next, so may letter C pa yata yun. So, bilangan natin, letter C. Okay? Okay, so we have letter C. A, B, C pala yun, no? Mali lang yung pagkakalagay. So, this one is capital letter C. Okay, so capital letter C, tingnan natin. Okay, so you have C. So you have f of x. So you have 6s squared plus 18s plus 12 divided by s cubed plus 3s squared plus 75, 7s, 75 plus 5. Okay, so you try, no, to determine the roots by determining the factor. Tingnan nyo nga kung ano yung factor. Pakisulat na lang sa chat box. Okay, so that is 6. Ayan. So, meron siyang nilagay doon. So, nilagay ni Mr. Amanidi. Okay, so you have 6. Wala pa yung roots dyan, ano? So, that is only a simplification. So, that is 6 s squared plus 3s plus 2. All over. So, you have s plus 1. So, s plus 1. Then, meron siyang nilagay doon. That is x squared plus 2s or 2x, 2s plus 5. Okay, 2s plus 5. Okay, ayan. So, take the root. Anong root?
Sir, S plus 2, S plus 1 pa po yung sa taas.
S plus 2, S plus 1.
Plus 1.
Okay, so, ayan, no? Next, dito naman sa ilalim, S plus 1.
Wala na po.
Ay, walang root?
Copy na lang po.
Walang root yung S squared plus 2S plus 5? May root yan, di ba? Anong root yan? Imaginary. O, so, anong pinaka-root? Imaginary yan. Gumamit kayo ng completing the square para makita nyo. So, kung gusto nyo, mag-quadratic kayo, mas mahaba. Oh, ano yung root? Okay, so, pakitingin na lang So that is, ang root niyan ay, using the completing the square, that is S plus 1 plus J2 and S plus 1 minus J2. Okay, pakicheck na lang to. Okay, so pag minultiply mo yan, isa-isa lalabas, S squared plus 2S plus 5. Imaginary yung class kasi pag 5 nilipat sa kabila, that is negative 5. So, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So, may plus 1 lang yon. Lalabas doon negative 4. Kaya, ito yung explanation kaya kung bakit may J2. Kasi negative 4 ito eh. Okay? Pag nilipat sa kabila, magiging negative 4. Ayan. So, that's your explanation. Okay? So, we can now determine the pole. Ang pole natin ay negative 1. Negative 1 minus J2. And negative 1 plus J2. Yan, pole natin. Tapos ang zero natin, okay, ang zero natin ay negative 2 and negative 1. Tapos ang gain natin ay 6. Okay, may tanong pa doon na hindi natin nasagot kanina. Okay, find the transfer function if your S, no? If your S is equal to 1. So, no? Yan. If S is equal to 1, find the transfer function. So, ang gagawin mo lang, dito sa letter C, no? Substitute mo lang yung value ng 1. No? So, at F is equal to 1, S is equal to 1, F of S, di ba? Ito yung S eh. Okay? Which is equal to 1 daw. So, substitute ko dito. Okay? So, ano mangyayari? So, you have 6 plus 18 plus 12. Kasi 1 lang naman yun. So, you have 36. So, all over 1 plus 3 plus 7 plus 5. 16. Okay? 16. So, 36 over 16. 9 over 4. Okay? If your S is equal to 1, the transfer function will become 9 over 4. Okay? And then, i-drawing mo na lang yung, i-plot mo na lang siya. Okay, plot natin. Yan. Okay, negative. So, positive j omega. Okay, ang pole natin ay negative 1. So, ito yung negative 1. Okay, lagyan mo na x. Negative 1 minus j2. And ito yung negative 1 natin. So, ito yung positive j2. Ito yung negative j2. Since pole yan, so dito, no, x. Dito, x. Diba? Kasi ang pangalan nito ay negative 1 minus j2. Ito ay negative 1 plus j2. Ito naman negative 1 minus j2. Okay, so ang 0 natin, so negative 1, so nag-overlap, so lagyan mo ng 0 doon. Ayan, nag-overlap. X at saka 0, no? And then, nandito yung negative 2, so lagyan mo ng 0. Ayan. Okay, so ganun din ang gawin nyo sa A at saka sa B. Ito, yung A at saka B, ito. Substitute value of 1 in terms of S. Okay, so let's see. Number 2. Okay, find the gain, poles, zeros, and characteristic equation. So number 2. So that is C sub S over R sub S. That is equal to 10. You have S minus 1 all over. So you have S plus 1. Then you have S squared plus 4S plus 4. Okay? So, hanapin daw yung gain. No? So, characteristic equation is the denominator, no? So, R sub S, that is equal to, so, ang gagawin mo lang, multiply mo lang isa-isa, no? So, pag multiply mo isa-isa yan, so, it will give you S cube, no? S cube plus 5S squared. Okay? Plus 8S. Then plus 4. Okay? Oh, that is the characteristic equation. Okay? And then, ang hinahanap yung pole at saka 0 din. Okay? So, hanapin natin yung pole. Kasi alam na natin kaagad yung 0. So, yung pole, hanapin natin. Ito. No? So, that is S squared plus 4S plus blank is equal to negative 4. So, completing the square, di ba? So, stop sharing. Okay, ayan, ganyan yan, no? So, ito, sinabi ko kanina, characteristic equation, i-multiply mo lang yan. Ito na yun. Then, kunin mo yung root nito, kasi may root na ito eh. So, ito na lang ang kulang. So, S squared plus 4S plus blank. So, 4 divided by 2, that is 2. 2 squared, that is 4. Plus 4. So, you have S squared plus 2 squared is equal to 0. Diba? So that is s squared. S squared is equal to negative 2. Therefore, ang root niya is positive negative j square root of 2. So therefore, ang pole natin ay negative 1. Ito. And you have positive j square root of 2 and negative j square root of 2. Ang zero natin ay 1. Ito yun. Tapos, ang gain natin, k is equal to 10. Okay? Ayan. So, that's number 2. Okay, next. So, number 3. Find the value of the transfer function at s is equals to 0 sa problem number 2. So, s is equals to 0 daw. So, number 3, if f of 0, so substitute, stop share natin to. F of 0. So, substitute mo yung 0 sa s. So, that is negative 10 over 1 times 4. Diba? Negative 5 over 2. Yan ang sagot. No? Pag f of 0. Okay, number 4. A transfer function has a zero root at. Okay? So, transfer number 4. Sulat ko lang yung given. So, meron daw siyang 0 sa negative 2 at saka 3. Meron daw siyang pole sa 1, J2, and negative J2. Okay? Tapos, ito yung pinaka-pole niya, no? 1, J2, saka negative J2. Okay. The value of the transfer function, so parang sinabi niya, f of 4 is equal to 2. Ayan. Okay, so stop sharing. Okay, sa problem, ang 0 binigay, negative 2 and 3. Sa pole, ang binigay 1, J2, and negative J2. Tapos meron siyang condition, if S is equal to 4, ang transfer function niya is equal to 2. Okay? Ayan. So, okay, so we have f of s, ganito, is equal to k. That is s plus 2, s minus 3. All over, so you have s minus 1, s minus j2, s plus j2. Okay, yeah. And that is equal to 2. Huh? Okay, so ang hinahanap kasi yung transfer function. So, substitute mo yung value ng s which is 4. Okay, so you have, ito yung pinakaano natin. No? So, you have 2 equal to k. Oh, so, substitute mo yung 4. So, that is 6. 1 all over 3. So that is 4 minus J2. And then you have 4 plus J2. Okay, ayan. Okay, so that is 2 is equal to K, 6 over 3. So, paano kaya ito? That is 4 times 4, 16, di ba? Ganun yung ginagawa natin, no? So, 4 times 4, 16, ayan. Ito, mas madali siguro kung i-simplify mo na kaagad ito, no? So, simplify natin. So, that is s squared. Okay, s squared plus j2s minus j2s minus j2 squared. Ayan. Okay? Diba? Ganun yun. Okay? So, you have s squared. Cancel to. So, you have negative j squared times 4. But j squared is negative 1. So, negative, that is s squared. J squared is negative 1. Uh, j, j is the square root of negative 1. No? J is the square root of negative 1. So, in squared mo yan, magiging negative 1. Negative, negative, positive. So, plus 4. So, ito, s squared plus 4. Okay? E 4 yun. Diba? O, 4 times 4, 16. 16 plus 4, 20. Okay? So, therefore, K, ang value ng K natin is 2 times 3 times 20 divided by 6. 20. Okay. So, ang problem kasi, hinahanap yung transfer function. So, f of s is equal to 20. Okay? 20, so you have s squared, s squared minus 3s plus 2s, so plus, minus s na lang, tama? S squared, negative 3s plus 2s, o ds na lang, minus 6. All over, so dito naman, s cubed, s, saka 4, so you have plus 4s, negative 1, saka s squared, minus s squared, and negative 1, at saka yung 4, that is minus 4. Ayan. Okay, o i-arrange nyo na lang. So, f of s, that is 20. S squared minus s minus 6 all over s cubed minus s squared plus 4s minus 4. Okay? Ayan. So, this one is the transfer function. Questions? So, sa number 4. Okay, next, number 5. Okay, number 5, a system having an input of x sub t and output of y sub t that is represented by dy sub t. Okay, number 5. So we have d y sub t plus 4 y sub t is equal to d x sub t plus 5 x sub t. So hinahanap yung transfer function, no? And the output. If the input is x sub t is equivalent to 2e raised to negative 40. Okay? So, tingnan natin, no? Ayan. So, mayroon siyang extra, ilagay ko lang dito, no? So, you have x sub t 2e raised to negative 40. Yan daw yung input niya. Kasi nilagay niya doon, input is x, out is y. Okay? So, stop share natin to. Okay, so ganito yung nangyari, no? Ginawa ko na siyang d. Instead of writing dy over dt, so convert mo kaagad siya ng d. Okay? O, take the Laplace. Take the Laplace. So, that is s, y sub s, di ba? Okay? Plus 4 y sub s equal to s x sub s plus 5 x sub s. Okay? So, ang output natin ay y. So, alam natin, transfer function is y over x or output over the input. So, y sub s, that is s plus 4, and x sub s, that is s plus 5. So, therefore, y sub s over x sub s, diba? That is s plus 5 over s plus 4. Ayan. Okay? Oh. So that is already your transfer function. Okay? Next. Hanapin daw natin yung y sub t. Kasi ang input daw ay 2e raised to negative 4t. Okay? So, pag hinanap mo yan, that is y sub s all over x sub s multiplied by no, e raised to negative 4t. Tandaan nyo yun, no? E raised to negative 4t. Okay? So, this one is already your s. Substitute mo yung negative 4. No? Doon sa equation. Okay? Substitute natin yan. Okay? Mayroong 2 pa pala. O 2. Okay? So, that is s. Kung ano yung exponent ng e, take note kung ano yung exponent ng e. Okay, so negative 4 plus 5, that is 1. Okay? Negative 4 plus 4, that will give you 0, infinite. Okay. So, ibig sabihin yan, kapag infinite yan, no, you cannot substitute yung value ng e raised to negative 4. It should be other than, no? Other than negative 4. Okay? Now, if ever na pwede mong i-substitute, okay? So, let's try to change. Palitan lang natin, no? So, this one is negative 3t, halimbawa. Okay, para makita lang natin. So, this one is negative 3. Ayan. Okay? So, negative 3 plus 5, that is 2. Okay? Then, negative 3 plus 4, that is 1. Diba? Okay? Times 2e raised to negative 3t. Okay? So, therefore, y sub t is equivalent to 4e raised to negative 3t. Okay? Ayan. Okay? Okay, now, bakit ko sinubstitute yung exponent nito sa s? O, di ba? Kukunin ko yung ano nito, kukunin ko yung Laplace nito, that is 1 over s plus 3. Okay? So, mayroon tayong root, that is s, di ba? Is equal to negative 3. So, yung negative 3 na yan, yun yung sinubstitute natin dito. So, negative 3 plus 5, you have 2. Negative 3 plus 4, you have 1. Okay? So, doon galing, no? Doon galing yan. So, kukunin mo yung Laplace nito. Ano ba Laplace nito? 1 over s plus 3. Okay? Tapos, s is equal to negative 3. Ayan. So, ito yun. Okay? So, that's number 5. So, halimbawa, ito ay sine, halimbawa sine yan. So, kukunin mo yung root, no? Yung root ng sine. Kunyari 2 sine, halimbawa 2, no? 2 sine 40, halimbawa. Oh, so, yan ay 4 over s squared plus 16. Kukunin mo yung root nito ngayon. So that is, ang root niyan ay s squared is equal to negative 16. So therefore, dalawang root. So s is positive negative 3, 4. Ito ngayon ang isasubstitute mo dito. Okay? Ito. So dalawa ang magiging sagot. Bakit dalawa ang magiging sagot? Kasi sign yan, di ba? Sign. Ang sign, meron siyang positive peak at saka meron siyang negative peak. Kaya dalawa ang sagot. Ang cosine, ganun din. Dalawa ang sagot. Okay? So, hindi katulad dito, iisa lang ang sagot nito. Kasi e raised to negative 3t. No? Isa lang ang lalabas na waveform dyan. Paano ko ipa-plot ito? Okay, so pag pinilot ko yan, ganito mangyayari. Pag ganyan lang yan, di ba? Decreasing. Samantalang yung sign, kapag pinalak natin yung sign, ito yan. Diba? O, so, meron kang sagot sa taas, somewhere here, tapos meron kang sagot sa baba, somewhere sa ilalim. Okay? Kaya, dalawa ang sagot kapag sign sa cosine. Pero kung ito lang, no? O kaya, constant, isa lang talaga ang sagot. No? Pag positive yan, so kung positive, mataas. Increasing. Okay? Yeah. So next, so we go to number 6. Okay, number 6, the transfer function of the given system is, ayan, find the differential equation. Okay, pabaliktad naman class, no? Pabaliktad. So yung kanina, yung number 5, given yung differential equation, i-convert mo siya into transfer function. So yung number 6 naman, nakasulat siya na transfer function, pero i-convert mo naman ng differential equation. Okay, so sulat natin dito, number 6. Okay, so g of s, that is 4s plus 1, okay, all over s squared plus 2s plus 3. Okay? Ang input natin ay x, ang output natin ay y. So x is the input, y is the output. Okay? So stop share natin. So g of s now is output y sub s over the input. Ayan, ginawang ganyan yung g sub s. And that is equal to 4s plus 1 all over s squared plus 2s plus 3. Magpo-cross multiply ka ngayon. So we have s squared y sub s plus 2s y sub s plus 3 y sub s. Diba? Cross multiply tayo. Then that is equal to 4s x sub s plus x sub s. Okay, so take the inverse Laplace. That is
Ay po.
diba? That is d squared y sub t plus 2d y sub t. Tandaan nyo yung s, yun yung d. Okay? Napansin nyo yan? So yung s, yun yung d. Plus 3 y sub t is equal to 4d x sub t plus x sub t. So, therefore, nakuha na natin yung differential equation ng Laplace na to. So, na transfer function. Kinonvert na natin into differential equation. Okay? So, kung gusto mo, ganito, so d squared over dt yan. Yan ang ano, no? Yan ang pinakalumang differential, no? So, that is 2d over dt, yan, y sub t, etc. No? Plus, dito naman, you have 4d over dt, you have x sub t. Okay? Plus, you have, no, so that is x sub t. Okay? So that's number 6. Yung number 5 kasi, differential equation convert sa transfer. Tapos itong number 6, transfer converted to differential. So, vice versa lang, no? Okay, number 7. Okay, so derive the transfer function of the given electrical system, taking the output at the inductor, no? Okay, so, tingnan natin kung paano natin gagawin yan. Okay, so sulat ko lang, drawing lang natin, number 7. So we have R, then you have L. Okay, so ito yung L natin, ito yung R. Okay, so ito yung input, nandito yung output. Okay, so stop sharing. Okay. Ayan. Okay, so we take a loop, no? May loop tayo. So you have current I. May current I yan, I. So loop. So yung output natin nandito, positive, negative. So we have VI is equivalent to RI plus. Oh, so voltage across the inductor, that is L VI over dt, di ba? Kalimutan na. Okay? Oh, so that is VI is equal to RI plus LVI sub T. Take the Laplace, VI sub S is equal to R I sub S plus you have LS I sub S. Yan ang Laplace niya. LS I sub S. Equation number 1. Okay? Equation number 1. Next, ang output naman natin, V sub O is equal to LDI over dt. And that is equal to LDI sub T. Kunin mo yung Laplace, V sub OS, that is equal to LSI sub S. Okay? Equation number 2. So, ang transfer function natin is V sub OS output over the input. So that is LS I sub S all over. So you have R I sub S plus LS I sub S. Cancel yung I sub S. Diba? Common yan. Okay? So therefore, that is LS over LS plus R. That is the transfer function. So, kung may given no, kung may given na value ang L at saka R, o di pa ilagay mo dito, di ba? Ilagay mo. So that is the transfer function. Number 7. Okay? So, yan natin kung meron pa. Okay, so find the transfer function. Tingnan natin kung ilang number ko pa. Ay, 9. Okay, so dalawa na lang, no? Okay, number 8. Find the transfer function of an electrical circuit. Okay, sulat natin to, number 8. So, RLC. RLC. Capacitor niya kinuha yung output. Okay, so you have RLC. Ito yung V sub O. Ito yung V sub I. Okay, so magluloop tayo. Okay, loop tayo. Yan. So that is VI, no? Is equivalent to RI plus LD I sub T, then plus I sub T over TB. Diba? Naalala niyo yung lesson number 1 natin, yung capacitor. So, CB. Lesson number 2 pala. Okay, so CB. Okay, take the Laplace. Laplace of VI sub S. That is R I sub S plus LS I sub S plus, so you have I sub S over CS. Okay, so therefore VI sub S, that is all over CS R CS plus LCS squared plus 1. Tapos, common yung I sub S, nilabas ko lang. Yan. Okay, so that is I sub I. Next, sa output, kinuha yung, ay sa capacitor, kinuha yung output, so that is B sub O, no? Is equivalent to, so paano nangyari yun? O, di ganito, so 1 over C, di ba? Integral of I dt, di ba? Ganyan yan. So, kaya naging I sub T all over CD. Yan lang ang output niya kasi dito lang kinuha ang output. Taking the Laplace, that is I sub S over CS. Laplace na ito. So that is B sub OS. Okay? So B sub OS all over BI sub S, that is, so I sub S over CS divided by ito, no? That is RCS plus LCS squared plus 1 multiplied by I sub S. Meron din siyang all over CS. Okay? So, ano ba magkakancel dyan? So, magkakancel dyan yung I sub S at yung T sub S. Okay? Therefore, ang transfer function niyan ay 1 over LCS squared plus RCS plus 1. Okay? Ngayon, kung may value yung L at saka yung C at saka yung R, ilagay nyo lang. Kasi pag dito kayo maglalagay ng value, ang dami-daming number, di ba? So, dito na lang pagkatapos. Okay? So, that's number 8. Okay, so yung last number natin, check natin ha. Bibigyan ko lang kayo ng hint, then you try to answer that. Ayan. So, number 9. Okay, obtain the transfer function. Okay. Oops, nakaparallel pala yung capacitor. Then we have, dito na lang, no? Resistor. So, B2, B1, so you have C1, R1, R2. So, stop sharing. Okay, so paano natin nahanapin ang transfer function yan? Okay? So, B2 over B1, no? Ang transfer function natin is B2 over B1. Okay, so meron kang current dito I. Then, meron kang current dito I2. Then, meron kang current dito I1. Okay? And then, may current ka rin dito I3. Okay? So, may node tayo using nodal analysis, no? Hindi ko na kailangan i-explain pa yun. So, you have the nodal analysis. So, ito yung B1, ito yung B2. So, kung B2 ito, B2 rin yun, yung node na yan. So, B2. Okay? Yan. Okay, so we have I equal to I1 plus I2. Diba? Tama ba? Ito yan, no? Dito. I is equal to I1 plus I2. So, but what is I1? So, I1, kasanang I1? Itong I1. Diba? So, ito yung I1. So, as you can see, yung arrow papunta doon, yung arrow ng I1 papunta doon, yung arrow ng I2 papunta doon. Okay? So, ito namang I1 papunta doon. Okay? Kaya ganito yung equation. So, hanapin mo muna yung I1. So, that is B1 minus B2 all over R1. Okay? So, that is I1. Ang I2 naman, nakuha na natin yan sa previous lesson natin. Ang I2 naman, that is current capacitor, that is D, T, D over dt. Then that is B1 minus B2. Okay? Ayan. And yung I, which is also equivalent to I3, tama ba? Yung kung 2 ampere ito, lalabas dito 2 ampere din. Maghihiwalay lang sila, tapos mag-unit sila sa node na yan. Kung 2 ampere yan, 2 ampere din ito. Okay? So, I is equal to I3. Which is equivalent to B2 minus 0, nodal analysis, divided by R2. Okay? So, pag sinubstitute mo yan, that is B2 all over R2 is equivalent to B1 or I1, that is B1 minus B2 all over R2 o R1, diba? plus C, okay, d over dt, diba? You have d1 minus d2. Okay? So, I think, so pag kinuha mo yung Laplace niyan, anong Laplace niyan? So, b2s over r2, that is equal to, so we have b1s over r1 minus b2s over r1, pinaghiwalay ko lang, plus, Laplace nito, that is c, C1. So, isa lang naman yung C. C, ano yun? CS B1 sub S minus CS B2 sub S. Yan. So, gumawa kayo ng paraan in such a way na ang lalabas dyan ay B2 sub S over B1 sub S. So, yun ang magiging transfer function yun. Okay? So, ang gagawin niyo dyan, combine mo lahat ng B1, combine mo lahat ng B2, then i-arrange niyo siya ng ganito. B2S over B1. Okay? So, that's number 9. Okay, so kung may value, so sa kanilang ilalagay yung value. Okay? So, you try to study this, number 9. Kayo na lang magtutuloy niyan, no? Lahat ng B1, sama. Lahat ng B2, magkasama. Okay? Okay, so you have an assignment. Dalawa ang assignment na ipasubmit. Yung sa inverse Laplace at saka yung ito, lesson number 4. Okay, this one is lesson number 4. Assignment number 8, no? Yan. Okay. Send ko na lang magkaiba, no? Magkahiwalay yon. So, ilang number to? 1, 2, 3. You have 4 numbers. Okay, so let's try to check the attendance now. Okay, so you have 2.6. Okay, so if you have no questions, class, you may leave immediately after na ma-check ko yung attendance nyo. So if you have some concern, so pwede kayo magtanong later, no? Tapos ng attendance. Okay, so we have Adelante, Alagar, Alinsub,
Present po.
Alvaro,
Present po.